Good morning, class 8. We are going to continue the third chapter in civics, that is parliamentary form of government. Day before yesterday, we had talked about the why we adopted parliamentary form of government, what is the composition of Lok Sabha, what are the qualifications for a person to be qualified as a member of the Lok Sabha. Okay, and we had talked about the number of members in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, what are the functions of the Lok Sabha, what is legislature, executive and judiciary, which are the three main organs of the government. Now we shall discuss about the executive. Executive is the third organ of the government. I told you that there are three organs: legislature, executive and judiciary. These are the three main organs of the government. And today we will start with the second organ, that is executive. So, what is the composition of the executive? The Union Executive is composed of Vice President, President, Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. These are the four main branches, these are the four main persons or the main, you can say that main departments through which the executive works. Now we will talk about the President. The head of the country is known as the President. President is not directly elected by the people of the India. They are elected indirectly by the representatives of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, as well as the representatives of all the legislative assemblies of all the states. The President is elected by the members of electoral college consisting of elected members of both the houses of the parliament and legislative assemblies. I have told you this. The powers of the President are very ceremonial. Ceremonial means the President has not got that much power. The main power is in the hands of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, as they enjoy the confidence of the House. The Prime Minister is the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha. That is why Prime Minister has got more powers than the President, because President is not directly elected by the people of India. Qualifications. So there are some qualifications which are needed to become the President of the country. What are those qualifications? First of all, you have to be a qualifications for President. First and foremost qualification is that you have to be a citizen of India. If you are not a citizen of India, you cannot contest the election of a president. Okay? Second, your age must be more than 35 years. 35 years. This is the minimum age level which is required to become the president of the country. If you are having your age more than 35 years, only and then you can contest the election of president. To be eligible to become a member of the parliament, you must be eligible to become the member of the parliament as well. Okay? Not hold any office of profit. Office of profit means if you are already working in any government body, you cannot contest the election of the president. For example, if a person is a commissioner of police, commissioner of police is also a government post. If you are having a government post, you are getting the government salary, then you cannot contest the election of a president. First of all, you have to leave that job. You cannot hold two office of profit at a single time. So you must leave that particular government job, then only you can contest the election of president. You should not be bankrupt. You should not have kept the money of any bank. For example, Vijay Mallya. Vijay Mallya is a bankrupt because he has taken the money of the bank and he has gone to London and he has not repaid the loan of the bank. So he could be considered as a bankrupt. So you should not be a bankrupt. If you are bankrupt, then you cannot contest the election of, and you should not be mentally unsound as well. Your mental level should be good. That means you should not be mentally retarded or mentally unsound or psychologically unsound. The period of president is 5 years. President serves the post for only 5 years. The 5 years is the term of president. Powers of the president. does not have that much power, but it has some powers. Okay. The president summons and prorogues or ends all the sessions of the parliament. The session of the parliament is started on the advice of the president. When the president asks a session to be started, then and only the session is started. And when the president says that that particular session should be ended, then only the session of a parliament is ended. He or she nominates the members of the parliament. I have told you that in Lok Sabha, 2 Anglo-Indian are nominated by the president. And president can nominate any 2 Anglo-Indian persons. He or she must not take any consent of any member of the parliament or any of the council of ministers. Okay. In Rajya Sabha, 12 members are nominated by the president. Okay. So this is also a power of the president. The nomination of some of the members in both the houses. He or she can dissolve the parliament on the advice of the council of ministers. If the council of ministers does not enjoy the confidence of the house, the president can ask the parliament to be dissolved. For that, the opposition can pass no confidence motion in the house, and after that no confidence motion, if that particular ruling government is not able to show the house the confidence of the majority, then that particular government will lose the majority and the government will dissolve and the parliament will dissolve and a new fresh elections will be conducted, and it depends on the decision of the president. But president cannot take this decision on its own. He or she can take this decision on the advice of the council of ministers. A money bill requires the president's permission before it can be introduced. Money bill, there are 2 types of bill: money bill and ordinary bill. What is a money bill? Money bill related to money matters, finance of the country, budget of the country. The bills related to money matters, those are known as money bill. Money bill can only be introduced in the lower house, that is the Lok Sabha. If a money bill is passed by the Lok Sabha, it may not ask a consent of the Rajya Sabha. That means only money bill can be passed by a single house only. The ordinary bills need to be passed by both the houses, but money bill does not need to be passed by both the houses. And a money bill can only be introduced only and when the president gives the permission. Money bill cannot be introduced without the permission of the president. That is also a power of the president. The president calls a joint session of the 2 houses to solve the disagreement on anything. If both the houses are clashing, they are having differences on any bill, the president can call a joint session. In that joint session, the decision is taken. But in that particular joint session, Lok Sabha is more powerful. Why Lok Sabha is more powerful? Because Lok Sabha has more number of members. 552 members are there in Lok Sabha and 250 members are there in Rajya Sabha. So because of the majority of the members, the Lok Sabha's decision is prevailing. Okay. So if there is a joint session, in that case also Lok Sabha's decision is prevailing because it has more number of members. President can pass ordinance if the parliament is not in house. The parliament is not working right now. The parliament is not in house, and a particular law is needed to be passed. Then president can pass an ordinance. It is not a permanent, it is a temporary law. Ordinance is also known as a temporary law. It is enforced for a period of 6 months only. And if this law needs to become a permanent law, then after 6 months when the parliament will be in session, that bill should be introduced in the parliament and both the houses should give consent to this bill. Then this temporary law will become a permanent law. Okay, the ordinance will be there for only 6 months, and in the period of 6 months, this bill should be introduced when the session will be in command. Okay. Now, executive powers. What are the executive powers of the president? Two types of powers are there: legislative powers and executive powers. So, legislative powers I have told you. Now, we will talk about the executive powers. The president appoints. The appointment of the Prime Minister, the Council of Ministers, and rest of the ministers are done by the president. All the ministers take oath, and the oath is given by the president. Until and unless the oath of holding the office is not given by the president, that particular minister cannot be considered a minister. President is the supreme commander of all the defense forces. Supreme commander of all the defense forces. All the three forces of the army, navy, or air force, the supreme commander of all three forces is the president. Okay. He or she can pardon or reduce the sentence of a person sentenced by a court. If a person has got a death sentence, that death sentence could be pardoned by the president. The president can release that particular person who has got a death sentence. If that particular person applies for a plea to the president can pardon the death sentence. He or she appoints the election commissioner. The election commission of India is an independent body which conducts the state as well as the union elections in India. And there is a head which is known as election commissioner, and the election commissioner is appointed by the president. The head of the election commission of India is known as the election commissioner, and that is appointed by the president. He or she looks after the administration of the union territories. All administration of the union territories is looked after by the president. When there is a failure of the constitutional machinery in a state, there are three types of emergencies which can be introduced by the president. The president has got the power to proclaim emergency. First of all, if external emergency. What is external emergency? If any country has attacked on India, for example, Pakistan has attacked on India. In that particular case, the president can proclaim emergency. That particular emergency is known as external emergency because that emergency is caused by an external attack. It is not caused by an internal thing. Okay? It is caused by an external attack of an external country. That is why it is known as external emergency. Second case, internal emergency. Internal emergency are of two types. First of all, failure of constitutional machinery. If a particular government is not working according to the norms of the constitution, the president can proclaim emergency the country. Constitutional machinery is failed in the country. In that particular case, internal emergency is called by the president. And or an armed rebellion. If there is an armed rebellion which is going on inside the country, in that particular case also, or the finances are not there, if the country has become bankrupt, if the country has no money, the finances are in drain, in that particular case also, the president can proclaim emergency. Now we will talk about the vice president. Vice president is equal to the post of the president, but it is the deputy of president. That is why it is known as vice president. The qualifications are the same. 35 years, he must be a citizen of India, he should not be bankrupt, he should not be mentally unsound. Okay, the same qualifications are there for the vice president as well. Vice president is the head of Rajya Sabha, the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Chairperson of Rajya Sabha is vice president. The Prime Minister. Now we will talk about the Prime Minister. If, for example, if President is not there, if the President is gone out of the country, if the President is, for example, if he or she is ill or if he or she dies, the Vice President then acts as the President of the country in that particular case. The Prime Minister is the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha. Okay. First of all, we will talk about how Prime Minister is elected. Prime Minister, first of all, is a member of the Parliament. Nobody who is not a member of the Parliament not be elected as the Prime Minister. So first and foremost qualification is that you should be a member of the Parliament until and unless if you are not a member of the Parliament, you cannot become a Prime Minister. Okay? You must be a member of the Parliament of any of the house, whether Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. If you are a member of the Parliament, then only you can become the Prime Minister. And after that, if you are a member of the Parliament, there are few conditions more. Second condition is that you should be the leader of the majority party. Your party should have got the largest number of seats in the Lok Sabha elections. Okay, and you should be elected as the leader of that particular party. He or she allocates portfolios to the minister. Let me clear you that Prime Minister has got all the ministries in his hand. Prime Minister can work as a finance minister as well. Prime Minister can work as a home minister as well. But Prime Minister, for the smooth functioning of the ministry, gives the portfolios and divides all the departments in the members of his particular party. For example, if Amit Shah is the home minister right now, Amit Shah is a member of that particular party from which the Prime Minister belongs, and Prime Minister has given them that portfolio. Rajnath Singh has got the defense ministry. That ministry or that portfolio has been given by the Prime Minister itself. Prime Minister has got all the portfolios. He or she can divide the portfolios in any of the ministry, in any of the members of his ministry. Okay. She presides over the meetings of the Council of Ministers. The meetings are conducted and all the ministries sit together, and the head of the ministry is the Prime Minister. Prime Minister conducts all the meetings of the Council of Ministers. And he is the chief decision maker. All the decisions are lastly taken by the Prime Minister. He or she will take the consent of all the ministers, but the last decision is taken by the Prime Minister. He is the chairperson of the National Planning Commission. Planning Commission, the head of the Planning Commission is PM. He or she acts as the link between the President and the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister acts as the link between the President and the Council of Ministers. President cannot give oath to any minister until and unless that minister has got the portfolio from the Prime Minister. Prime Minister decides the portfolios. Then after, on the advice of the Prime Minister, the President gives oath to that particular minister. So it is the decision which is taken by the Prime Minister. And after that decision, which is taken by the Prime Minister, then only President can give the oath to the particular minister. Okay? He or she communicates to the minister about all the decisions of Council of Ministers. All the decisions which are taken by the ministry, that decision is communicated by the Prime Minister to the President. All the ministers do not go to the President. The Prime Minister's responsibility is that all the communication to the President is done by the Prime Minister. Prime Minister can use his or her discretion over disposal of two national funds. Relief Fund, Prime Minister's Relief Fund and National Defence Fund. Defence Fund and Relief Fund, both the decisions are taken by the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister has to give the relief in any case, for example, if right now coronavirus is spreading all over the country. So to provide relief to the persons who are affected by the coronavirus, so National Relief Fund is allocated by the Prime Minister. Right now 20,000 crore rupees has been allocated by the Prime Minister. That particular decision is taken by the Prime Minister itself. Nobody can manipulate his decision, okay? And the National Defence Fund, how much money should be invested in purchasing the defense equipment, that decision is also taken by the Prime Minister. All the high level international meetings are also conducted by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister goes to another country to represent his country. For example, Prime Minister visited in America, visited Saudi Arabia, Iraq. So Prime Minister is the head of the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Now we shall discuss the Council of Ministers and we shall discuss the rest of the exercises in the next video. Thank you, class.